Castello, can you guys hear us? David, can you hear us?
I can't hear you guys if you guys are chatting.
You cannot hear us?
Can't hear us?
There we go. I guess
We
you guys
weren't
just weren't
talking.
saying anything.
Imagine that, 2 women not talking.
I'm here. Here we go.
Hey, Susan.
So I heard from Joyce that she may not make the meeting, so I'm not sure if you want to proceed in another minute or so.
Yeah, I
Because
think
it
we'll
looks
proceed.
like everyone, okay. So it's almost time.
I'm
I
gonna
know
go
that
get info.
Joan was coming, but I
She's
called
on
her.
the Zoom.
She's gonna Zoom?
She's on
No,
the Zoom.
this is Colleen. Joan should be there any minute.
Oh, great. Thanks, Colleen.
Yeah.
Well,
And Melissa, when you have a second, can you just allow me to share?
I suppose.
But it's gonna cost you.
Yeah, that's because we're using the Zoom.
Oh. Okay.
We're,
Should I just not bother to record it?
I mean, we have it on our YouTube.
On your YouTube?
Yes. I mean, you could use a microphone or. Okay. Okay. So that changed. You should have the ability now.
Thank you.
Sure. Did it work?
Yep.
Good. Yes, please.
Okay. I was like, what? It's been a rough day.
Colleen, just let me know when Jonah's back and we'll get started. Unless you're the representative today.
No, I'm sure that she's on her way.
Joan's
Okay.
walking in right now.
Oh, I thought she was going to meet there. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, she'll be there.
That's okay. Forgot the calendar. You want this one? No.
I have extra copies of everything.
Okay, can I see you this chair? Yeah, use it.
Sir, if you're here for the meeting, you could join us.
I don't need to wear this. Everybody's quiet. If you ask Melissa, you may get a different answer, but if you're asking me.
All right, everyone. I called this July meeting of the Marketing Committee to order. Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Sure. So Member Bloomquist,
Here.
Chamber Representative Mingori,
Here.
Vice Chair Codling,
Here,
and Chair Claffey,
Here.
and Member Overton is absent.
Thank you. Okay, for members of the public, all items on the agenda will be opened for public comments before final action is taken. Citizens wishing to introduce written material into the record at public meetings on any item are requested to provide a copy of the written material to the city clerk prior to the meeting date, so that the material may be distributed to the committee prior to the meeting. Speakers must restrict their comments to the item as it appears on the agenda and stay within a 3-minute time limit. The chair has the discretion of limiting the total discussion time for an item, and as a courtesy to others, please turn off cell phones and any other distracting devices. So at this time, I would like to open up public comment. If any members of the public would like to say something, now is the time. Okay. Anything on Zoom, Ms. Swenson?
There are no hands raised on Zoom.
Wonderful. And if you're here for a specific agenda item, we'll have opportunities to comment during those agenda items as well. Okay, we're going to move right into a business now and an update and discussion about the content projects. Let me share my screen. So I don't think there has been much movement here, but I'll welcome anyone else in the community to fill in here. The augmented reality Anderson Marsh project, that is something that Supervisor Sabatier is leading. I haven't had an update on that. One Team, One Dream has closed enrollment as far as I know, and hopefully they're moving forward. Has anyone heard how many applications they got? Hearing none, I will say they got hundreds. The photo contest will address in events, but does anyone have any comments or anything to add to this portion right now? We haven't done much content in the last few meetings, but if someone has something to add, now's the time to mention it.
Are you talking just the item of downtown refresh, or are you talking all the items on there?
Of all the items on here, the downtown Clearlake refresh is actually, I can actually move to the complete page. I just changed the format of that, and now it's just updating.
I would like to address the business and tourist map. As a chamber fundraiser, I would like to take that achievement on for ourselves. I've already started with the graphic arts. As I think I've mentioned before, my husband did all the work for the Chamber of Commerce a number of years ago. So we still have all the original graphic arts. Now, this is not a street map. This is basically a tourist map for tourism and marketing businesses, which we would sell advertising, and that would be a fundraiser for the chamber.
Okay. Do you need any support on this, or are you guys good to go at the moment?
I think we're good to go at the moment. If it's all right with you, I'd like to continue with that. We looked at doing a street map, and I think, in talking to people, most people that are looking for a particular address are using Google Map. What we've seen coming in the chamber is people want to know the major roads around, where are the restaurants, where are the parks. So that's what we're going to be addressing on it, is where can people go fishing offshore? Where can they let their dogs run on the beach? So it's going to be more of a visitor and local information as far as activities and promoting those businesses that go with those activities.
Wonderful. When do you think you'll have the first draft of that?
My husband's already done the basic map layout, so I hope to be middle of next month starting to seek business support.
Okay. So I will update the downtown Clearlake page to drive traffic to you guys. And if you need any support, sounds like you have it all in hand, but just let us know, and we'll keep this
All right.
on. We'll move this up to the top and keep it on the docket.
Thank you.
Beautiful. The only other thing, Joan, since I have you, does the chamber need any support with the newcomer package that you were talking about?
For that, I we haven't put an actual package out that we mail together. What we have done, Colleen, Lee, and myself, we have a pamphlet that we have created, and there's copies in the chamber. I hope to get it posted on the website. It lists all the utility services, phone service, all the different things, the propane services, school districts in our area, which is Canocti, and who to reach, the name of the schools, their phone numbers, all of that is on there. So I have that done. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring one. It will be, I'm going to mail it out to all the chamber members, but we do have copies of it right now in the chamber office.
Okay, I'll come by and grab one. I'd love to take a look. Beautiful. Any public or any other comments from the committee about these items before we move over to public? Okay, hearing none. If there's any public comment on any of these items, now you can raise your hand or speak.
I'm sorry, I keep jumping in. Your vendor list, I wanted to share with you something I didn't know, because you have to remember I've been out of the chamber for a while.
Mhm.
And I actually went through the chamber and pulled all the folders of the things we used to do in the chamber to kind of share with you. And we had always gotten our vendors off of chamber members. And Tina and I had talked about serving of alcohol like at the concerts. And I found out that the wineries have to go through the Wine Grape Association, and they have already done their list and where they can attend. They have to have permission through the Wine Association. So as far as the concerts and your vendors, they will not permit us to look at doing more alcohol because they have an agreement with the Wine Association. So I don't know if that answered your question or if you knew that. I didn't, because
I didn't know that.
yeah, it was a shock to me when I was talking to a couple of the wineries. However, events the chamber has, we can enlist the wineries. So just as chamber members. So I just wanted to share that with you. Vendor, I didn't get an idea. Are you going to be charging for spaces and like the soapbox derby or that, or?
The soapbox derby, the vendor spaces are free right now.
Okay.
We did it the first year and they were free. Eventually we may change that, but we're not doing it.
Because I thought the chamber, if I can get volunteers to, like at the soapbox derby, have that, have the information on where utilities and stuff are at. Also, another fundraiser, I haven't talked to my board about it. My board member's looking at me. I want to do a magnet. I already have the prices, and it'll be a refrigerator magnet that I would probably sell in the chamber for $1, but at the soapbox derby, I thought we'd give it out. And it would have all the major, like how to reach PG&E, AT&T, that type of stuff on it. So kind of an emergency, where the hospitals are, that type of thing. And so that's part of that newcomer package, but I thought it would be nice at the soap op derby to be able to hand out. So that's why I asked them, as long as there's no fee for the chamber having a booth there. Is that, I guess, what I'm answering correctly, Dave?
No, this I think is a different agenda item. This was
Okay.
a vendor list that we want to keep populated for all the different events that we put on. But that's all still very good information that we'll add to the appropriate areas.
And speaking of vendor lists, I do have it. The vendor list of all the people, and I did get it from the Lake County Chamber, of all the people, all the businesses, vendors, et cetera, that have done basically pretty much around the county.
Okay, I'm going to move this down, and I'll create a completed tab down here, or at least a completed section, and we'll say we have it, and then we'll update it as needed.
Stephanie, can I get a copy of that?
You certainly can.
Thank you.
All right. If there are no other comments about content, we'll get into our heavier portion, which is the events. I believe that's next. Let me just check the agenda here. Oh, I'm sorry. No, beautification project. So business item number 2, beautification. Um, I think, I don't know if we've had a meeting since, but we have the beautiful fish statue in Austin Park that is up. Oh, we did have a meeting. First fish is out. We'll hold off on talking about this further until Supervisor Sabatier is on probably next meeting. The light pole banner project right now, Downtown Strategies, I believe, is still leading the design element. I have to follow up with Alan on this because we were hoping to have it out in July, and we obviously haven't heard anything for a couple of months here. So that's on me. The Clearlake Main Street project with the Rural Arts Group. Ms. Swanson, do you have an update on that?
I do not. There's been no update since the last meeting.
Excellent. And then the poetry boxes. So I just shared the Clearlake Campground social media post from Georgina. Has it gone in over at Highland Park yet?
It has, and it's going to be featured in our newsletter this coming issue that I'm right now getting ready to go out for proof. Yeah, we got pictures, and I told them that the chamber would be where they can send me the poems, and I will enlarge it and get them posted in the box so they don't have to bother coming, and I'll take care of it.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you
It
for
looks
taking that
good.
on.
You ought to stop by the chamber.
Yeah, I've only seen photos so far. I have to come by. When I get that pamphlet, I'll take a look.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then the only other item that we had talked about recently was the storefront project. And I know Councilmember Overton's not on right now. Joan, do you have an update on that?
Only that I suggested if you wanted to put one of the pictures in my place, you're welcome to, but I have not heard anything on the storefront. I do want to tell you something I talked with Tina about, and I would love to see, years ago, we used to allow the kids to go through and paint storefronts during the holidays, Halloween in particular, and Christmas. And I'd like to promote that again as through the schools where the kids can come paint storefront windows for the holidays. And then have a contest where the best pictures win prizes and stuff to get the community back involved in with the storefronts downtown. I think it would be cute. And even if we got the banners that were Halloween based at the time they're doing it, that would be just ideal.
That would be great. What do you think you need to kick that off?
I'm going to be talking, we have a school board meeting on next Thursday, and under our, I'm going to ask that it be agendized at that time, and I will also talk about it when it's time for board members to give their discussion. So next Wednesday is our school board meeting, and I will be presenting the idea and hoping that one of the principals or teachers will take it on. But in the meantime, I will be reaching out to the art teacher at the high school, but it also, I think it'd be really neat at Burns Valley School to get active in that and get maybe one of the teachers there to lead it.
Wonderful. I'm happy to join that meeting as well and just make a public comment and lend a bit of support to it. I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Okay. Beautification. Any other comments about the projects or proposed things on the agenda right now?
David, what happened to Rotary and the flags? Or not the flags, but the banners on the light posts?
Yeah. Talked with Bruno and Alan. It sounded like Downtown Strategies was going to take the lead on designing the elements.
Okay.
And I haven't gotten an update from Alan on that recently, so I have to follow up with him. My hope was to have those already up. I wanted to get them up before they took the equipment down, but now we're going to have to put the equipment back up as part of that, which shouldn't be a big ask, but just a little extra effort. So I don't have an update on that. I'll have to talk about it next meeting, or you'll hear about it during one of the Rotary meetings.
Okay.
All right, beautiful. Any public comments on city beautification projects, both proposed and ongoing? All right, hearing none, I'm going to move on to item 3, which is events. And I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit. That's too much. All right. Tina, I know you sent around your calendar. Do you want to go through that, or do we just want to go down the list here? I think most of it's the same with the exception of the concerts.
Okay. If you want to just go through the list, I can add any that maybe you don't have, or that might be the best way to do it.
Okay, I've already added all the new concerts to downtown
good.
Clearlake. I just haven't
Okay.
put it on here yet.
Can I get a list of the concerts and the events? Yeah, I'd like to get them on our calendar.
Okay. On a side note, David, I did email you
There you
this
go.
morning, the rules, the registration form and the sponsored sheet for the Derby. Did you receive those?
I did. I spent my free time before this updating the calendar. So I'll do that after this meeting and I'll make sure all
Okay.
that's up for you.
Perfect, thanks.
All right. So Soapbox Derby, a quick update. The date of this has been shifted from September 4 to September 11th.
Correct.
Tina, if you wanted to, do you want to give us an update on some of the other aspects of this event?
Well, we haven't met, the committee has not met in a few weeks. We wanted to get through the 4th of July events and everything like that before we switched gears.
Forgive me, were you busy during the 4th of July?
Not really. Not
Okay,
really.
sorry to interrupt. Continue.
I had the best day though, just saying. So we're going to meet this coming week to discuss, we're going to do a workshop for if we can get people to sponsor vehicles for children that may not have been able to participate but wanted to. We are going to try to get 10 vehicles sponsored and have a workshop day in August, at the middle end of August area.
And how much is that going to be for a sponsored vehicle?
$100.
Okay.
And will you announce the workshop day?
Yes, as soon as we nail it down, I hope to nail down a workshop day this coming week, well, next week at the meeting.
Yes. Okay. And I could bring a builder possibly. So let me know what the day is and see if we can't come help.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
That's wonderful. Okay. So just let your networks know the date has changed. That's the big thing. Make sure folks are saving the date. And then vendor spaces, of course, will be free. I will have, there's a vendor form on the Soapbox Derby website. So you can funnel folks there if they're interested. And do you have a preference on type of vendors that you're looking for at the moment, Tina?
Anybody is fine, as long as it's legal. Food vendors, I want to limit it. The first year we had several snow cone people. We had several fruit cups. I want to give everybody an option to make money. So I'd like to kind of filter it to make sure that there's one of each, not 5, if that makes sense.
Beautiful. All right, let's move down to the photo contest. Ms. Swanson.
We have a few entries. Not many, but we've really been trying to push it, especially after 4th of July. So it ends mid-September, so we're getting it out there pretty much on a weekly basis.
Excellent. So if everyone can keep pushing that should be wonderful. Let's move down to the Kite Festival. Stephanie?
You aren't with art. Good. And I'm sorry. It's Toby. Toby, I was recommended to me. He used to have a kite store here in Clearlake. So you want to tell us a little bit? So he obviously knows about, needless to say, flying kites, events, etc. And so I'm certainly hoping that if we do go ahead with this, that he will have kites to sell, and give us some direction. Would you like to tell us a little? Come over
Toby,
here.
if you want to come up to the table, you're more than welcome to.
Well, my name is Toby Edmonds, and I had Wind and Fun kites here in Clearlake in the Burns Valley Mall. I also had one in Clearlake Oaks. I got hooked into kites back in 2011, and I've been hooked ever since. It's sport or a hobby from little kids all the way up to people in their 80s worldwide. I used to have a lot of kiting events. Most of them were at Anderson Marsh. That's the best place to fly in the city because of the lack of trees and like that. What else would you like to know?
And Toby said to me that, I know we had sort of talked about Austin Park, and his concern was the winds are.
Right.
They're very fickle there. The wind swirls. And if you ever sit out in the parking lot and watch your flag, you'll see it change from one minute to another. But it dies down quite a bit. The waterfront has good wind for flying. I've flown a lot of kites there. The baseball field back here, I think it's the school's property, but that's also a good place to fly. Anderson Marsh, if that's in the city limits, you have use of it.
No, it's not. in the city
No,
limits.
it's not. But Poverty Field is the city's. We share use of it with the school district,
Okay.
but it is part of Austin Park.
Yeah.
Just for your info, we could, use.
So have it, so instead of here, have it at Haverty?
It's possible.
Well, the other thing that I had suggested to you was have your professional kite flyers on the lakeside and have the kids at Haverty. So either you have them separated quite a distance. Because he's right. I remember when we had the kite festival, how many of them got caught in the trees and the power lines and everything else. Having several locations maybe because of that. You have a child out with their family and that's what you want to encourage, but you want to also encourage someone like, hey, do you have all the trick kites and stuff?
I do have a trick.
They are just so awesome. And Bodega Bay has the kite festival.
Yeah.
And I've actually been over twice to watch it. It's just something else to watch the trick kites. It's great for the kids, but for those like myself, I love to watch the trick kites. And yes, I remember buying kites from you for my son.
So, perhaps maybe for the first year, we have it more of a kind of demonstration type thing and kids learning how to do it. I mean, I'm definitely looking for suggestions. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you did it small to begin with and have the trick kites and stuff maybe down on the lakeside and then have the kids over at the soccer fields right in front of Burns Valley School, because there's really no trees there. And you could end up having both and then they meet in the middle for games or whatever else you wanted to put in there. But because it seems like the bigger kites can fly better at Austin's on the lake, right?
Stunt kites do better there.
Yeah. Because
It's
they can
always
handle
fun
the
to
wind and stuff.
Teach people, to get some adults and kids and show them how to run the 2-line kites and show them how to do the 4-line kites. And that really gets them interested.
Right.
So then next year when you have it, they'll be probably a little bit better off and want to come and show off their skills. And
Yeah.
things like that.
So would you have people that know how to?
I've reached out to a couple of my kite friends, and I've got 2 folks that work with me closely at Kite Store. And they said if I needed them, they'd be more than happy to help. I would really like to, if I was to get involved in this, get one of the most prominent kite people, I'd say in the world, a guy named John Barisi,
Ooh,
I reached
wow.
out to him and he says, well, let me know what you're gonna do. He goes, that's all he does is fly kites for a living. He
Yeah.
goes to Singapore, he goes to Germany.
Oh, my
He's in San
goodness.
Francisco, and he just, everybody tries to be like John. He's like the Michael Jordan of kite flying. So I might be able to get him to come to Clear Lake, do some flying. Usually
So-
a kite festival, yes?
Oh, so to understand the structure of this event, we're thinking like classes, workshops for the kids, and then a portion where there's a demonstration with these really notable flyers.
Usually, it's been my experience with the kite festivals that I go to. Usually start off by having some folks demonstrating. And that's what got me hooked. I went to Brookings, Oregon to their kite festival with a girlfriend, thought I was being a good boyfriend. And, okay, dear, we'll go to this thing. And thought I'd be bored out of my skull. My jaw dropped the first kite that went up and the stunts they were doing. That usually kicks off the kite festival. You do have vendors, you have kids' activities, and then you do some instruction.
Excuse me.
Also a kite maker that wants to come show people how to make kites.
Mhm.
And so how long are we thinking this event will run? If we're doing a demonstration, and then instruction with other side activities for the kids, are we thinking this is going to be like a 2 to 3 hour thing, or is this an all day affair?
Depending on what you want. It can be an all-day thing, it can be,
When we did this before, Dave, it ran, you were there, weren't you? I'm trying to think. I think it ran almost all day because we did have bouncy houses set up. We had the biggest mistake we made is we had the kids flying because the soccer fields were pretty bad that year. We had the kids flying in Austins and all we were doing was retrieving kites. But there were booths set up for the different kite people. There were kite making. I remember my son was, so probably wasn't because my son was pretty young the first time he got involved. And he and his dad spent the most of the day looking at how to make kites. But I can tell you that it seemed to me we started about 11 o'clock and we ended about 5 because the wind just got too high. It was planned to go a little bit further, but it got so windy by 5 o'clock. And in October, you never know. I'm going to share something with all of you. You're going to think I'm nuts. At 5 o'clock this morning, I'm watering and my first thought was it smelled like fall. And
Wow.
I got just living on the lake and that smell today really made me think we might be coming into winter a little early. I don't know. I hope.
Well, all right. So let's figure out next steps here. Stephanie, what do you need to start planning and to start coordinating the different demonstrators and vendors and things like that?
Toby to say yes. Because obviously, I mean, I have this whole kite organizers manual that I got off of the web, it's the American Kite Flyers Association. But I really feel that we need somebody that has expertise in not only flying, but has the ability to sell them and to show, if we get some volunteers, maybe that they could meet a few days ahead or weeks ahead with Toby, and so that they could help in having kids learn how to fly. That would be my thought. And we need to decide what kind of vendors do we want? Do we want food vendors?
I think you should open it up to everybody to begin with. Yeah, only the reason I say that is I think it would be important. You're bringing people into our community, and I think that I'm just guessing. I would say open it up to anybody that's legal and they have the verification for insurance. Let them go for it. I was thinking it'd be a great fundraiser for the schools the clubs in the schools, for the cheerleaders, for the
That's right, because the
FFA.
cheerleaders used to do
Yeah,
a fundraiser.
So I was also thinking this would be, with the KEC, we might be able to get one of the teachers to do this as a project, an engineering project, and maybe one of their math classes on building kites and having them down there and showing what they built during the event. You know, I don't know. So I'm going to promote it at the school. If you guys are up on this, I will reach out to see if I can get a math teacher involved in this.
That would be great, Joan. If you could do that, I think Stephanie and Toby, what I would really love to see before the next meeting, because we're midsummer now. I'd really love to see the core of what the program is, right? Like, what are we advertising? There's going to be vendors, there's going to be ancillary activities, but like, are we starting at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock? Who's demonstrating? What type of classes we're going to do? And then from there, that will give us a foundation that the other ideas can come from, right? So we can insert KEC, we can insert vendors, we can insert the inflatable company as well. So I think that's the first step is let's program 2 to 3 hours, what we want to see, who we think can offer those demonstrations or services, and then we can build off of that. Tina, you are now the expert event planner in this city. Any other suggested ways for them to get started and get this launched?
Make a checklist. Make a checklist of things that you're going to need to do or to make sure happens. It could be very important to make sure you're not missing any details. I'll need an event packet on it. And then insurance. And then if you have volunteers, make sure they have a job so that they can be efficient. That's probably all I can think of.
I think that's
I learned all this from
I think that's a good start to get us to August, and then at August we can really start refining. But
Yeah.
that all sounds great.
If you get it all like detailed out, I can review it and tell you what I think might be missing, or just like another set of eyes. You can do that.
And I have Joyce here as the secondary committee member, but if Joan, if you're going to be trying to get KEC involved, maybe we swap that out so that we don't have any Brown Act issues, and you guys can talk really openly about it with Toby and get us through this next month on the initial planning. Wonderful. Any other comments from the committee? And any other comments from the public? All right. I will say, Toby, really excited to have you on board. I think you bring a level of expertise that we absolutely need for an event like this. And, you've got a group of really energized, committed folks who want to bring events to the city here. And any input you can provide to make it better is more than welcome. So thank you. We might sign you up too at the end of this. You might be a marketing committee member by the end. Okay, let's move down the list here of the other events. So the Christmas parade right now, that's still targeting December 4th, I believe.
I would like to add the Halloween parade. I want to work on that as well. Where the kids from at least Burns Valley or maybe from several of the schools could do a parade. Right now, I think they walk around Austin's Park, but I'd like to extend that if possible.
And do they do that on a school day? Because right now Halloween's the 31st.
Usually it's the day before they get out. I haven't looked at the map. If we have a staff development day, then Halloween is they usually like to put it on that day so the kids aren't eating and it's sugared up. So it would be the day before actually Halloween.
if you know what I'm
Halloween's on a
saying.
Sunday.
Halloween's a Sunday this year.
So it would probably be that Friday, or maybe we could do it on a Saturday, but, and then all the kids can be invited, the parents can bring them down. If we could do something where they're actually, I hate walking on the street, that's the problem, but maybe coordinate it where, they're walking around Austin and it's for all the schools. Again, I've got it on my list to reach out, because I do think it would be, something that I'd just like to, is part of that trick or treat on Halloween, but I was thinking this would be something that could be get more of the school kids involved, all ages. And part of have the awards for the best photo, best business painted building at the same time and that kind of thing. We used to do it in downtown Fairfield when I was a little kid. And I will tell you that they actually closed the entire, if you've ever been in Fairfield, they closed Texas Street off and all the schools were bused to the local high school. And we walked the entire street looking at the windows that we had painted. And then the kids, as we were walking, there were judges set out and they judged the costumes. And I can't remember if we won anything or what, but as a kid, it was just always such a neat thing, not only to be able to paint one of the buildings, but then to also try to win that contest. And so I just remember how much our whole community got involved in Fairfield. And I think, we don't have sidewalks. That's part of the problem. But if we could do something of a smaller scale to start with until we get finally sidewalks down Lakeshore Drive, and which is my hope soon, someday.
Now, you said you were going to reach out.
I have summer, it was like you, I had to get through the 4th of July first. So, and a lot of our teachers and principals, when school was out, they took off for vacation. They're all back August 1st. So that's when I will start reaching out to the principals, and the teachers, I think, have to be back the 4th of August. And then, so reaching out now, I'm just getting emails.
Mhm.
So. Is there a reason why we wouldn't want to have it on Sunday? Because that's when trunk or treat is. And the only thing I was thinking, that is Halloween, is that a lot of time, I don't know who's listening, a lot of times you won't get teachers that they don't live here to come in and work with their kids on a holiday. Yeah. Because they live in Kelseyville or Lakeport. And so your local teachers will, but that's why I was thinking for that particular thing, maybe on a Friday when you have your teachers that actually walk with the kids and stuff like that, more of a security type thing. But that's just my feeling, knowing, and I hate to say that, is that to get the school buy-in, if you do it on a weekend, we don't get as much school staff as if we did it on a school day. That's all.
I think it could still thrive as a standalone, because last year Trunk or Treat was absolutely packed.
Right.
So there's definite interest, and if a family can only do a Friday or can only do a Sunday, I think it's still a good experience. Or if they do both, those kids are just going to be the happiest times.
Yeah, it gives them a little bit more. So and again, most of your businesses are closed on a Sunday. This way, they're open Friday. They can come out and watch the kids like they do in Lakeport. I think Lakeport does it on a Friday, and they walk down the street in Lakeport on Halloween. And so it is, like I said, it is different.
Called the push-pull, I think.
I don't remember, but I know they do it on Halloween, and they usually do it that Friday before. So the band actually gets involved. Maybe we can even get the high school band.
Love it. I do have a concern, Joan, that you're taking on a lot of things. So just make sure that you're the strategic person and you get the teachers to be a project manager for you.
I definitely, I will reach out to someone else to that. We'll do it as a chamber. I've got an incredible staff of volunteers. So I will share with you. I've got great volunteers. So
excellent. Okay, I'm going to skip the New Year's fireworks. Makers Market. Tina, can you give us an update on what that is and if it's still happening?
So as far as I know, it's still happening. I'm working with Elizabeth Kelly. She is the one who approached me on it. And she wants to have like a maker's market, people who do handmade stuff or homegrown stuff. At, instead of just like store-bought stuff that vendors have. She wants to have food, things like that. I've got the insurance on it. So we're trying to make it happen. So it's just kind of like another like craft fair maybe.
Does she have any marketing out around it, like a Facebook page or a website?
Let me find out.
Can you connect the two of us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was updating downtown Clearlake today and I couldn't find anything on it. So it's coming up pretty quick. We want to make sure. That seems like a great event.
Okay.
Give her support.
When's the makers? It wasn't on the calendar.
August
It is
7th, I
coming from
believe.
August 7th.
Okay.
Do you have a time for that too? What time they're going to officially open?
I think they're going to start at like 7:30 and stuff, setting up. And I don't remember the exact time. I'll have to.
Is it,
Okay. Yeah, it was it was 7:30 on the calendar.
Yes.
But
I believe that's the setup time, but I want to say it'll actually start around 9 and be there all day till
excellent.
4:30. Yeah.
All
And
right.
then there's a concert that night.
Mhm.
All right.
They'll probably actually leave before 5 because the concert starts at 6.
Wonderful. Line 13, the Great Holiday Light Fight. We haven't started that yet, but I'm gonna start at least putting it on calendars. I thought it went really well last year, so I'll connect with Zappy to make sure that she wants to run that again. But probably a slight change in how we judge the winner. But otherwise, we thought it was a great event, and hopefully we could talk about it in a future meeting and amp it up a bit more. And then the concert series. Tina, do you want to run through the 3 remaining events?
We have added a concert. Bruno Sabatier has taken the lead on this, but we are doing it under the Clearlake concert series. On the 31st, we have Midnight Sun Massive.
On the 31st of
This month, July.
this month.
Correct. And then, and that'll be at 6 o'clock at Austin Park. He has reached out to a couple of vendors, food vendors. I'm not sure which he locked down. And then on the 7th, we have Rockin' Down the Highway, at 6 o'clock as well. And then the final one will be the day of the Derby. And that is Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers also at 6 o'clock.
Excellent. I love that you're stacking some of these events as well. I think that's exactly what we need. And I just updated the downtown Clearlake with all of these and heard a couple of their songs. They seem pretty good. So I'm excited. Am I doing parking again, Tina?
I'm not sure. We'll have you on standby.
Okay, sounds good.
I just as an FYI for next year, we're going to up it to 8 to 10. We're going to start working in January by Coastal Media and I, and then we've got some really, really good potential bands.
Love it.
Step it up a little.
Okay, does anyone any other comments or questions from the committee regarding the events? Actually, I stopped sharing, but I'll share again.
Just real quick, the Bass people contacted the chamber today, and the October Bass tournament has been canceled. They're concerned about water level.
Okay. So the 9th?
Yeah, and they're not out of Redbud anymore. They're out of Lakeport, all of them. They moved to Lakeport.
So the rest of our series, because they haven't responded to me. Okay, so.
Yeah, they moved to Lakeport, and I'm not sure why.
Supposedly because I talked to my neighbors who are bass fishermen, and it's supposedly because it's deeper water, even though it's only at Fifth Street.
It had something to do, it wasn't that. It had something to do with sponsorship.
Oh, and that, I guess Lakeport is willing to pay for sponsorship
Right,
to
Yeah.
best bass, and the chamber can't afford to do that.
right.
So,
Well, we had not been contacted that I knew of at all. Maybe Chelsea had. And so, yes, and it's sad because I had no idea. But
Yeah,
they
they haven't
did,
responded back to me either.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll cancel them.
yeah, and they did reach out to us to let us know because I have been posting their events. And so they were kind enough finally, because they weren't answering my emails either.
Okay.
But they did today to say that one was canceled. But we did learn from Colleen Lee, who is a CTA, that they had gone to Lakeport because the Lake County Chamber sponsored them and sponsored them only if they moved up there. So,
Well, that's sneaky. We don't like that. Okay. Any other comments or questions about the events portion? Any comments
Yeah.
from?
I would definitely get a hold of the bass tournament people and just pretend that you didn't hear that here
Okay,
and quiz them on it. I mean,
okay. I will do that.
yeah, because that is,
because
I want to say
they will
it's
eventually
hearsay. I
want to
didn't
come
hear it.
back here simply because we've got a great, Redbud certainly has the best launching facility in the county to begin with, and we have a lot of bass in this part of the county.
Well, and I don't know, Terry Knight have reported in the record B that the two ramps in Lakeport are getting to be almost dangerous. And that the Oaks and Clear Lakes Redbuds are still the only two really good ramps. So that surprised me that they did move up there, but just to share with you that
Unless they're going out of Canocti Vista. I know Canocti Vista just dredged their whole channel out.
yeah, I don't know. And it could be that's where they're going out of. But we got a lot of bass people come still launching, and country boats have been keeping me kind of informed of the lake level. So as far as notifying people that are asking.
All right. Thank you for those updates. Any public comment about events? Okay, hearing none. Let's move on to committee member reports. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share? All right, so hearing none, I will just like to say to Melissa and Tina, thank you so much. That 4th of July event was incredible. You guys did an amazing job. Melissa supervising me at the end there, I appreciate that. You didn't yell at me too hard, didn't slap me on the wrist, but you guys did amazing, and I think you really set the bar high for all the work that we're doing here, and it really shows what's possible. So thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else, I will call this. Anyone? All right, I call this meeting closed. Thank you all. And if you guys have any questions or need a hand with anything, I should be back next week. So Stephanie, I'd love to get together with you at some point. Joan, maybe we should get together as well.
Yeah.
Just talk about the things that we're all working on to make sure that the fall hits hard and hits really well.
Right.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, David.